Most people move through life completely blind to the silent strings pulling their actions. They react. They bleed emotionally. They hand over their power to anyone who knows which buttons to push. But the powerful few understand a fundamental truth of human existence. Control is not taken by force. It is taken through the mind. Welcome to Obsidian Psyche. Today, you will learn the exact psychological mechanisms used to subjugate weak minds and bend reality to your will. The world will break you if you remain weak, but when you master these laws, you become untouchable. You need to understand this immediately. The average person desperately wants to be led. They crave structure, certainty, and someone else to carry the burden of their choices. When you embody absolute conviction, while exploiting their cognitive vulnerabilities, obedience becomes their natural reaction. Machiavelli observed that men are so simple-minded and so dominated by their present needs that he who deceives will always find someone who will let himself be deceived. Today, we break down 8 ruthless psychological laws that grant you effortless dominance over weak minds. First, master the art of artificial scarcity and emotional withdrawal. Weak minds attach value only to what they fear losing. When you are constantly available, over-explaining and eager to please, your value plunges to zero. You must weaponize presence and absence. Push them away slightly. Go silent when they expect a reaction, and make your validation a rare commodity. Carl Jung noted that loneliness does not come from having no people about one, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself. When you make your presence scarce, weak minds fill the silence with their own insecurities, driving them to seek your approval at any cost. Second, manufacture an artificial crisis to offer your absolute solution. Human beings are inherently loss-averse and terrified of chaos. To control a weak mind, you must first destabilize their sense of security. Point out a hidden threat in their life, magnify their internal anxiety, and then step forward as the calm, unwavering savior. Sun Tzu wrote that in the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. By orchestrating a subtle sense of urgency or danger, you strip away their critical thinking. They will willingly hand you the steering wheel of their lives just to escape the discomfort of uncertainty. Third, enforce the law of micro-compliance. Never demand a massive sacrifice right away. Weak minds will panic and build defense mechanisms. Instead, demand small, seemingly insignificant favors. A brief task, a minor concession, a tiny agreement. Once they comply, their brain undergoes cognitive dissonance. To justify why they served you, they must convince themselves that they respect and value you. Step by step, micro-compliance builds an inescapable cage. Before they realize what has happened, their autonomy has been completely eroded, and obedience becomes a subconscious habit. Fourth, adopt the mirror of hidden desires. Most people are deeply lonely, starving for someone who truly understands them. A weak mind falls instantly for anyone who reflects their ego back at them. Listen more than you speak. Observe their insecurities, their hidden ambitions, and their desperate need for validation. Then, mirror their body language, repeat their core beliefs, and validate their secret ego. They will perceive you as their soulmate or ultimate mentor. In reality, you have built a psychological mirror that grants you total access to their deepest vulnerabilities. Fifth, weaponize strategic, unpredictable punishment and reward. Predictability breeds contempt and boredom. If you are always nice, people take you for granted. If you are always harsh, they learn to avoid you. The most addictive power mechanism on Earth is intermittent reinforcement. Reward them intensely when they align with your will, but withdraw affection instantly and unpredictably when they step out of line. This creates an emotional roller coaster that keeps weak minds perpetually anxious, hanging on your every word, endlessly striving to regain your favorable grace. Sixth, establish absolute frame control through unbreakable silence. When challenged or confronted, weak minds panic. They talk fast, raise their voice, and offer endless justifications. You must do the exact opposite. Maintain cold, unyielding eye contact. Pause for 3 to 5 uncomfortable seconds before responding. Speak slowly, softly, and with absolute finality. Marcus Aurelius reminded us that you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By refusing to enter their frantic emotional state, you force them to enter yours. The stronger frame always absorbs the weaker one. Seventh, leverage the psychological burden of debt. Human beings are hardwired to feel uncomfortable when they owe someone. Powerful manipulators exploit this by offering unsolicited, carefully calculated favors. Give them a gift, solve a problem for them, or offer assistance before they even ask. This creates an immediate, overwhelming sense of obligation in a weak mind. When you eventually make your real demand, they will comply without hesitation, just to relieve themselves of the emotional weight of being in your debt. Eighth, project an unshakable mythos of absolute authority. Weak minds do not follow logic. They follow status, confidence, and reputation. You must curate every detail of how you present yourself to the world. Never express self-doubt. Never apologize for taking up space, and never seek approval from those below you. Nietzsche spoke of the will to power as the driving force of human existence. When you walk into a room with absolute certainty, weak minds instantly submit, mistaking your unwavering confidence for divine right. Look around you. The world is filled with individuals who have surrendered their autonomy to societal scripts, emotional impulses, and predatory manipulators. If you do not take control of your own mental framework, someone else will happily write it for you. You now possess the strategic knowledge required to identify, break, and master weak minds. Use these laws to protect your sovereignty, dominate your environment, and build an unassailable empire of self-mastery. Stop being a spectator to your own life. Stop explaining. Start doing. Stay silent. Stay strong. Subscribe to Obsidian Psyche now. Leave a comment with your thoughts below, and claim your power. Think deeper. Feel less. Know more.